Stage to Lionear and RaymondKrah.
Thank you.
The applause thing.
Yeah, before we start, if there are questions, feel free to ask them, and then we will get the mic to you, so yeah, people can actually hear the question. But first, let's start off with who are we? Well, my name is Rick, also known as Lionear or RaymondKrah in game. I'm a senior software developer, so yeah, this is not entirely a surprise, I guess. In EVE, I started in 2016, as we were sharing some stories at the beginning. I did a lot of hauling, and my experience wasn't very good in that experience. I had a load of 2.6 billion in a Iteron, maybe not the smartest move, and I got blew up, so that was my first experience in the game, and I quit rather quick after that. And a few years later, I came back and I started doing missions. I'm, yeah, more or less a high-sec care bear. I don't do a lot of stuff in no-sec or low-sec, but that's what I enjoy, besides creating stuff for the community.
And I'm Raymond. I'm also known as RaymondKrah in game. For my profession, I'm a senior software developer also. I started EVE in 2010 with a couple of colleagues. Did much of the time PvE missions, some industry, and that's it for me within EVE. I'm not playing it very often currently, but should be more.
Yeah. Well, why are we third-party devs? Well, first of all, we are not CCP, so we're not first-party. Second of all, yeah, we like to develop tools for EVE Online. We have multiple. We will show them later on. I guess some of them you already know, at least I hope. Yeah, we want to give the best tools to the community if possible, since the EVE community is a very nice community in my opinion. So, who are we? We are EVE Workbench. I don't know who doesn't know it, but there should be some, I guess. But I wonder if you guys know where we started with. What do you guys think? At this moment, I guess everyone knows us because we have a lot of fittings on there. We do have something with markets and we do have some trade routes. But actually, yeah, why did we create it? That's the first thing. For a market tool, not for fits. We wanted a good market tool since at that point EVE Central was gone. I don't know if anyone remembers EVE Central. It was a fairly easy website to use for markets. You could just do a search query and you would see the sell orders and buy orders pretty easily. But it went dark and we wanted a tool. So we created it. We wanted to min-max trade routes. That's actually one of the first tools we developed for EVE Workbench. So you could say, I want to go from Amar to Jita, for example. What should I bring for the best profit? It's still live, it's still being used. I don't know how good it is these days since the code never changed. But apparently it still works since people do use it. Yeah, we wanted to know if we refined ores, what would be the best outcome of the refined ores. So yeah, that is what we started with. It's not the fitting tool you guys use these days. But let's dive into the history. Actually, we started in 2016, but not with the version you know now. It's the version we have forgotten. It is a very terrible version. And it never saw the light of day, since it was really slow and really bad. And it was pre-ESI, so I believe it was the crowd stuff we had to use. You had to create your own tokens, and then you could copy and paste it into the website, and it would try to pick it up. The new website we launched in February of 2019. As said, it had a fitting website, oh no, not fitting. It had a market interface. Nothing more, nothing less. It had a market interface, and you could create your trade routes. And we have some screenshots of this as well. I don't know who prefers dark mode over light mode, but then maybe you should close your eyes because it's very bright. This is the first iteration of EVE Workbench. So it's just a plain website with a simple search query you could use. A few weeks later, it was this. It already started to look like the EVE Workbench you guys see these days. It's more or less the same. Really never changed. And this is the market browser. As you can see, very easy. You have two tabs, the buy orders and the sell orders. And yeah, just the information you need for the moment. This is the trade route tool. It's more or less the same. The only thing we added is that we show the route you have to fly. We always use the safe route, and we don't have an option to change that. Maybe we should add it in eventually, but at this moment it's not there. And then we come up to March and April, which was one of our biggest feature updates we had at the moment, since we introduced fits. It was introduced due to the question of streamer Market Dragon that he was missing a tool like Osmium. Well, I didn't know it because I never used it, but Raymond did know it. So yeah, we know how much it was and needed. Then there was a tweet by CCP since we released the fits. They tweeted about it, but we never saw it coming. So our website almost went down. You don't have to be. It keeps us, yeah, awake. Let's call it that. And this was how we portrayed yeah, the fits. And one of the most important things we had at the moment, and we still stand by it, is for alpha tunes. Most websites always yeah, try to emphasize Omega accounts, but we also wanted to emphasize alpha accounts. And if you open a fit, you will actually see if you are able to fly it as an alpha tune or not. And you can also filter by it. This was the first iteration of our fitting search. It was just a list with the modules already listed. So by some people, they do hate the new view and they prefer this one. Maybe we should bring it back in some future update. And this was how the fitting looked like. Not a radio, just simple. What is the high slot, mid slot, low slot, and just, yeah, what's in there. We showed how many slots there were. That's what we already had at the moment. I believe we already did it through the dogma data.
This was already through the dogma data. A small side note on this one. This entire system was run on a single system. It was not like now sharded. It was one big piece of code, which eventually changed, but we will come to that later. But this was already with our dogma system.
Yeah, this page could actually crash the entire server as well. So we were happy that it didn't happen, but we know it could happen. Then we have the year 2020. A lot of new changes on the technical end. I think this, in the end, is more a slide for you than for me.
Yes, we moved from what I just said, from a single server to we split it up the code base into microservices, Dockerized the instances to distribute the load better. Eventually, we moved to a scalable Kubernetes cluster because Docker was nice, but was not scalable enough, and we had issues because it was running on multiple systems, and we had to manually move the containers over when we have maintenance on the system. Yeah, and yeah, that concludes 2020. So it was not a lot of new features for you guys. It was more or less under the hood for us. 2021 started with more technical changes. And 2021 was one of our most busy years in EVE Workbench. As we wrote major parts of EVE Workbench, as said, everything was coded like it was a single website without scaling, etc. Those things got all rewritten.
We moved to a new cloud provider. At the moment we were hosting at OVH and we moved to Hetzner. Yeah, this was a painful situation because we had to pay for a Microsoft license. We didn't want to, but our database grew too big. C Killbot integrated with EVE Workbench with a link, so you could see how the shot ship would reflect to your skills or skills that you selected. We introduced EVE Workbench. This is an alternative Killboard, but momentarily not active since we had an issue with it. We launched a new fast search engine because the website was very slow at certain points. People started to complain about it on our Discord, Reddit, and I guess everywhere else we don't know at this moment. And we started a collaboration with Features Abyssal Tracker. I don't know if you guys know it, but keep this name in mind. 2022. Yeah, I don't remember it as well because nothing happened. We only kept it alive. Yeah, sometimes that happens as well. 2023 started with a major announcement from our end. We took over the Feature Abyssal Tracker, so it's joined the EVE Workbench forces. This was a technical solution we did not think about at that moment because our entire stack is built in .NET and the Abyssal Tracker was built on PHP. So that became a small issue, but yeah, we luckily managed to do it. So 2023 also meant that we got a new developer. So we have 3 developers developing on our tools. The third one isn't here, but it's Ithran. He mainly did things for the Abyssal Tracker. Smaller adjustments for the EVE Workbench to facilitate things that the Abyssal Tracker needed. And we already had available for EVE Workbench, so we could facilitate it through one environment. We introduced a brand new API. Most people don't know, but we do have an API where you can send your EFT to, for example, and then calculate how that would reflect to some stats. And then you can see how much power grid it would gain, etc. I believe a few applications integrated it, but it's not really much. Switched to a new search engine again. The old one, while it was quick, we came to some issues with, I cannot recall, I don't know if you can, but...
Yeah, the old system was Solar. The new set we switched to Elastic due to the search, the way it searched. Solar, sometimes you search the Paladin with an alt name, but you get a Tango with something else. What's not ideal, which was due to how Solar was operating its search queries in the back end, and we decided to switch to Elastic also to more shard the search. Solar was one instance, Elastic now has 3 instances in our cluster, so when one goes down, the search stays up. That was the main reason.
Yeah. And we started the development of the new Abyssal Tracker, which went live, I believe, a month ago.
Yeah.
Then we have 2024. Yeah, we also have a new authorization platform. Since the EVE Workbench always requested a certain amount of scopes, we got a lot of complaints about that in the past. We really did not attend to it to change it, but with the new Abyssal Tracker we also needed location tracking, etc. So with the new authorization platform we made that possible. As said, released Abyssal Tracker 2.0. Yeah, also announced new Abyssal Tracker because 2.0 is not good either. We went for a technique that is apparently not suitable for large amounts of people. The website still crashes, so we started to rewrite it again. So we have new Abyssal Tracker at this moment, and we will release new Abyssal Tracker somewhere this year. Some statistics, maybe this is for you.
Now, for some statistics we have pulled from the system this morning, we have over 1 million characters in the database, which were logged into EVE Workbench. We have around 200,000 fits total in the database, with 30,000 of them publicly accessible.
This one should get higher, of course, since most are private.
Private fits, yes. Private or corporation fits. We have around 570 fleets and 250 published. This would also be more likely, but...
Yep.
And we store every sell and buy order we pull from the ESI, so we don't hit the ESI with every request. That amounts to that we have around 1 million sell orders in our database with around 400,000 buy orders, which will not include structures. And there is an appraisal system also within EVE Workbench, which is around 80,000 appraisals stored currently. And our database size is growing approximately 60 gigabytes, but can be more. We had no access this morning from here, so couldn't check.
It's more than 60 at least.
And the EVE Workbench site is 3,500 visitors each day. And the Abyss tracker, is around 400, but due to some tracking issues, we don't see them all.
Yeah, and also due to the website being not that as stable, we also see a decrease in visitors in the Abyss tracker, which is pretty normal course, of course. So we hope to increase that as well in the future, since it's a great tool for a great community in the end. And yeah, we are going to make it better. It's a promise I did earlier, but I will do it again. There is more, but... yeah, so the current EVE Workbench family consists of EVE Workbench, EVE Workbench, and Abyssal Tracker.
Yeah. Our entire system is built currently in Microsoft.NET 8. We upgraded it recently. The database server is Microsoft SQL, of course, we already told that. We use an MVC model in the back end in the front end. The Blazor technique is going. That's the one which is using the Abyss tracker currently, which have problems. And for the caching, we use Redis and MongoDB. And the search, as said, is elastic. And of course, the Kubernetes cluster itself. The entire system is hosted with Hetzner. It consists of 4 main nodes, which are hosting the entire website, with 1 master, 1 database server, which is physical separated from the rest. And we run backups to an offsite location, which is around 1 terabyte currently in use, which is growing also. We make one backup every 8 hours currently. And yeah, that's how the EVE Workbench currently operates.
Yep. So the future, well, as said, we want to make the best tools for you guys. So the future is there. And yeah, we would like to make a new announcement. We do have 2 tools already. Well, 3 technically, but this is a new one, EVE Journal. It is almost the same as Abyssal Tracker, but not for that, but it is for, if it's going to continue. Okay. Yeah, so it's basically Abyssal Tracker for missions. So you can see how you're doing. What are you gaining? What are the bounties you are getting? But also to share and create new tutorials. We know there are a lot of websites already around for that, but we want to facilitate just one more to make it more easy. It is a collaboration with multiple people. One of them was yesterday digitally attending is Dangerous D666, I believe. Yeah, and more. But with this is also something we really need input from the community, what you guys like to see. Since we make it together, we can develop a website, but if the community doesn't need it, yeah, why would we take the effort for that? Yeah, but we do have one more thing as well. We're introducing also EVE Workbench Tech 2, or version 2. As said, our current website hasn't changed much since 2019. So it's due time that we do something with it. We are going to use the same UI across all websites. Currently we do have multiple versions of our style sheets. Well, people who know and who develop websites know that it's not that easy and handy to do. We are going to introduce theory crafting of fits as well. The system already can do it, but we didn't implement it, so you can just create a blank fit, select the hull, and put on the modules you like, see how the statistics would reflect to your skills or the selected skill sets. And if it's a fit you want to use, you can also save it directly to EVE Workbench and push it to EVE if you want to. Fit configurations. This is something that's asked many times. For example, if you have a fit that's used for combat sites, but also for scanning, you have to create multiple fits at this moment. With fit configurations, you will be able to create one general fit with multiple stages. So if you have modules that is for the anomaly scanning, it is just part of the fit that's on EVE Workbench. But you can push them all separately to EVE and copy the EFTs. Skill plans. Since the introduction within EVE, we got the question, is it possible to create skill plans on EVE Workbench or make skill plans based on the fits? We can, but we just didn't have time to do it yet. But with EVE Workbench 2, we will. So you can just copy the skill plan needed for a certain fit and paste it in EVE. Promoted fleets. Currently, we do have promoted fits. That's more for streamers. We also got the questions from us, for example, can we make also promoted fleets? So if with the FART fleet has a certain composition, can we use that one? With version 2, we will introduce that as well. Yeah, and if you have ideas, spit them. We want to know because we really need the community, as said before, with ideas what you want to like to see in the Workbench. So please share them with us. Then another thing, support your favorite third-party dev. Doesn't really matter who it is, but they put a lot of time in stuff like CKillbot, EVE Scout, EVE Preview, but also, for example, EVE to Twitch, and everyone else. It takes a lot of time to create the tools you guys love to use. Just give them some support, and yeah, it will make it easier for them, and in the future you will get even more and better tools. So, are there any questions about this?
Did you think about...
Wait for the mic, please.
Did you think about implementing multiple fits next to each other so you can compare two fits?
Yes, it's not on the slides, but most likely we will introduce a comparison tool indeed as well, so you can select multiple fits and see how the fits would perform. It's something that's on the list.
Thank you.
Hiya, just a question. What feature on the EVE Online API would you like to see come out of curiosity to make, if that makes sense?
I didn't really
The
get
EVE
question.
Online SDK, you know, to get all the data and stuff.
Yes,
What kind of feature would you like CCP to like implement?
We would really like for streamers to see not only the ship they are flying currently, but also the fit it's applied to. What is on that ship? We can't see that. We only see what ship they are flying, but we don't see the fit. So that would be really nice for streamers.
Yeah. No more questions? Okay. Well, we will be around for today and tomorrow, of course. So, yeah, if you have questions or ideas, bring them to us. So, yeah, the new EVE Workbench family would be EVE Workbench 2, Workbench, Abstractor, and EVE Journal. Thanks for listening.
I don't have a microphone. Is it in the public? There. Thank you. Can we have again applause for them? Woo! Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Well, that's kind of all for the presentations that we have so far. What's going to happen now is we're going